team, but let's be real. The fireworks are coming from Simple. Those are the fireworks show that we want to see. So let's get into the server. Let's get it going. Let's talk some Counter-Strike, and let's watch some frags.
Yes, sir.
Where are we starting?
I will say the good news for Alliance is these are probably 3 of their 4 best maps. It's maps that they have, as you said, picked up their best results. Maybe, honestly, ever have been some of their recent results as a core. So there aren't really any excuses if Alliance don't perform today. They've got a pretty good basis as far as the maps are concerned.
Small, nice detail early on. Nexa throws a decoy off rip as if it was the smoke, presumably to try and bait somebody into head blocking the decoy and exposing themselves to getting fought down mid. Just a small wrinkle. Fun little thing. Undo. Pretty isolated from a teammate. Going to trigger this setup. Gets traded out. Fortunate to get the 1. But now Avid wants to fight into this. Not punished by Nexa. No teammates close in hand, so Nexa didn't want to overextend with all that utility available for the team as well. Now they're going to start to swing on out. It's a brawl, and it's going to be Simple down for the count off of that one, so we'll have to wait to see the fireworks, and it's Avid instead bringing through all of the shooting, all the headshots coming on in. Nice 4-piece off those dualies.
You had a great time. Not too much else to say. I mean, BC.Game cleared intent to move off catwalk, but never made it that far, and I don't think they played it particularly badly. They traded initially on the fight deeper into short. With decently well spaced, just got absolutely annihilated by Avid. And it will be a fairly heavy eco behind this. They'll look to get AKs out in round number 3, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer before we see Simple on a more potent weapon.
Nice rifle support coming in. Yura gets tucked into the corner. Just make sure that there's no dangers in this one. It's all fine. I mean, your biggest threat was just that the Eagle starts to rip some heads, but not going to happen. You understand with the performances that he's been having, why you put a Deagle in Simple's hands. He can always tip the scale. But it does mean there's going to be some limitations if they're investing in here. And they are.
He might scout. Dust2's a map where I can kind of get behind it because the info is so valuable.
Hasn't made a decision yet.
Kind of assure you he's thinking about that right now. There we go.
There it is. Scout looking for the shot down middle. And it's aggression down middle as well, so opportunity's there, but it's 2 players in the lower. They've slipped past the scout, and they've gained a ton of information on the tunnels off the rip. Alliance with a lot to play off of. Now they're going to move back in towards lower. They're anticipating this catwalk play, and Abbott's really straight into the fight, but it's Ira off the op that's going to get the first shot from catwalk, and this is looking very good indeed. Total shutdown from Alliance. Very dynamic move to establish the tunnel's control early, and then play off of that into the mid fight. Simple. We're waiting for those fireworks. But while we wait, Twist is making his way all the way through spawn. Sausalito, tagged through the doors, is limping his way on back, which may just set up this Twist backstab.
It's going to take one of those miracle moments to recover this round, and I don't think they know anything about this flank. Simple knows there's players around him. It's going to take longer and longer to make their move in the end. Twist on his flank. Capitalizes, and now it's just Simple. Makes a good go of it, though. First man drops. The bomb's a bit awkward, though, isn't it? He's going to get back up on catwalk, and yeah, he's not expecting to play it all the way towards the ramp.
That's one
Game
more headshot.
on, brother.
Game very. Does he realize he doesn't have the bomb? I mean, he's played his way out of this round, but Twist doesn't know, presumably, that he hasn't come back for the C4. So Twist is actually just playing this slow, waiting on A. And by the time he recovers this, I mean, A is the only option. I don't even know if it's going to be an option at this point. There's just not enough time for this. Yeah, this is over. 5 seconds. Save the op. Make it through to the next round.
Bit of a teaser, that, wasn't it?
We almost got magic.
It's one of those situations where the bomb's down, there's players fully surrounding him. And in my head, I'm like, there's just no way out of this at all. Makes a good go of it. He clearly expected, who was it, Twist to still be top mid. That's why he's kind of posting up and looking towards... we still calling it palm tree? Do you still call that area palm tree?
Goose palm tree, yep.
I'm on about the one top mid.
Oh, the top mid. No.
Yeah.
Usually, if I'm talking palm tree, I'm talking the palm tree flash out of Goose.
What do people call that spot? Shows how long it's been since I've been in a team.
Sausanito, nade pop. Sausanito takes through one. Traded out, but Simple now on that op. Things are getting a bit more exciting. Numbers advantage right now for BC.Game. And it's big pressure onto Uppa here in B. Be asking for uppies. He's dinked up. Manages to hold off for two. Trying to find the third. Does so indeed on the sidearm, and it's all on to Simple. He was hoping to be the final element of this round. Instead, now he's got to be all of it. But the mid player, his scope has blocked it. But he wasn't looking. He wasn't looking. What a catastrophe now for Alliance. That this round's in contention once more. Simple likely doesn't realize that a player is this close, but at this point, he's let enough time off the clock that he has to be aware of the possibility. He's going to go forward for the fight. Oh boy. Takes a risk, gets the kill, but the trade is there. Once again, it comes right down to the wire, and it looks like magic will be made. But once again, Alliance managed to overcome.
Uppa's the hero. It was a good call from BC.Game. They killed two in mid. They were quite confident. One of them would have been the B rotator. They didn't see anybody moving across. So they made the right move. They just couldn't frag up a backside. If they kill him, it's probably a save from the CTs. So, well recovered. The one thing the Simple is doing, and pretty much single-handedly, is ensuring that Alliance have no cash reserves. Because he kills them down to one at every round.
Yeah.
So if they can just get one or even better 2 rounds on the board as this T side, they'll completely ruin the CT economy. BC.Game are yet to run a standard default, by the way. They keep calling into, you know, heavy numbers one side of the map. They had that heavy mid take where they lost tunnels, and last round was heavy mid with the extremities exposed. This time, they're going straight in towards long. Flash is over. It's just twist around. That late flash caught him really badly. He's having to do a lot of work here to try and turn all away from all the utility. Can they pluck this man in pit before Avid gets involved? Boy is killed in the meanwhile. Twist is still alive somehow, but surely not for long. So look at the damage on these terrorist players without frags. That's ridiculous.
Actually absurd how extended that fight got. I mean, this is going to break quite fortunately for BC.Game, right? That they managed to get this bomb down, and at this point up is in a 1v5 as far as he's aware. What he doesn't know is that about 4 of those players may be combined to one man's health. So it might be the most doable 1v5 ace clutch of all time, but it's not going to be attempted. And it shouldn't be attempted because, as you mentioned before, Alan, there's no money. Simple killing nearly everybody for 2 rounds in a row means that there is no cash to spare. Alliance are broke as a joke. And Uppa might just have the 1 rifle available in the next round. We're going with Uppa or Uppies? If you ask for a boost, it's Uppies.
Would be more. That feels more Swedish to me.
Uppa.
Even better. That's like a place name.
Be a neighborhood in Stockholm.
Could well be. We have Uppsala.
A nice restaurant in Uppa.
Tech pause. That's me a bit nervous.
These things happen. Hopefully we'll get a result quickly. The finances here. And so they are going to buy in. Money being a bit ruinous. Heavy incentive now on the CT side to fight a little bit harder with that extra $50 a kill. Even with the limitations, might be able to peel away some frags and keep this close.
It's a tough map to play CT Dust2. It's just so many ranged fights, and it's, you know, if BC.Game have a good read on the money, and they probably should, I think they'll expect, you know, a tunnels crunch like we had a few rounds ago, or something off catwalk. I don't foresee them getting easy close range fights as the CT side here. BC.Game shouldn't allow that. In fact, they're playing the most default round they have so far on the CT side, which I just feel like they need to take a risk with this sort of investment. I guess that's why this
be the risk.
Paulin's catwalk is coming.
Nicely timed Molotov, though, to interrupt that. And a follow-up as well. It's Andu and Sausalito to mount this fight. And right now, Andu has a bottle in hand, so that's not ideal. But the flashbang certainly is. However, two back the other way off the MP9. Nicely done from Avid. Don't want to fight too far into this. There's an op on the angle. But advantage, at least for the moment, for Alliance is a huge coup off of this catwalk setup. So it pays off. And Avid in particular, having some strong showings early in this game. Wants that AK. Really wants that AK. And is going to get it. A boost. Up and over. The problem now is you've really concentrated your one rifle, Alan, and as they take long control, you're going to need to dismantle this setup. And if you look at the utility that BC.Game still have, they figure out that all the presence is in catwalk, they can do a good job of bottlenecking this. So they'll disassemble it quickly. 2 AKs off the rip, and they're dancing back into the site to try and mount these fights. Nex is spotted a lot, but there's a gap in that smoke, and that's a problem. And Nexa finds his face full of bullets. The numbers, they're getting low and swinging through the smoke. That's going to be Poi, able to close. Op retrieved, Alliance with a round stolen away, and a BC.Game flummoxed.
It's all Avid. His second kill here, I just can't believe he won that duel. Also a little bit surprised. BC.Game had 2 smokes. Maybe they thought one of them would provide more coverage, but it was so awkward crossing to site there. It might have doomed the first player in. Just in terms of CTs knew exactly what was coming with the gap. Sausalito here has a good long spawn. As BC.Game run around as old as time. 5 out long. They haven't really left themselves any alternatives. They've got to... If you go back now, you're just taking a risk. So, kind of need to finish up long soon.
Knowing the angles, knowing this setup, no one's coming. At least Nandu can get one back the other way. They still have the smoke to theoretically mount across, but need a kill. And Nexa tries to make that play through. Into an op. Oh, speaking of ops. A little bit of classic flair there. And on to the AK to try and bring through this 2v3. They've got the cross smoke. They need to move now. No player towards card. That's been abandoned. There's deeper battle lines drawn up. And actually, look at this. They're giving them A. They are 100% conceding this to play the retake. And so Simple can cross. Sausalito might stick out towards long. He might be the one on the op now to play for this post plant.
Feels a bit easy. I mean, neither side's actually covered right now. And nobody took information for the CTs despite the amount of long pressure. They've given an opening here to Simple.
They're really trusting the util advantage of having these 2 incendiaries to try and clear out the site, but we know the danger Simple can bring. They have 1 kid on Twist. He's the player in towards CT. Keep an eye on it if he gets dropped. And, oh, that was an opportunity. That was a massive opportunity to eliminate the kit. But peeking back in, Simple mechanical failure coming through there means that Alliance will have plenty of time for this defuse, kit or no.
BC.Game needs a pause because their T side and the way they're calling it is not awe-inspiring. They're not leaving themselves options. They've been outplayed strategically in the majority of these gun rounds. At what point have they made Alliance particularly uncomfortable? They're the one round where they got the mid kills and went into B against upper alone, but they didn't kill him on that one. It's all a bit plain. It's a bit too vanilla. And they're not causing any problems for the CT side.
Fast long take again here. They've got the space. This time it's totally conceded. Didn't have the numbers here for a sustained fight, so Twist just didn't want to have it. But now they're past the smoke, and it's Ira who swings off of his teammate. Nicely done. Andrew coke forward. But now Twist back into the action. He's got support. He's got reinforcements, but puts a bullet into his teammate's head. And then Nexa can clear up both. They stack up for him. Spacing a little poor on that swing through. They got stumbling. Bunched up on each other. Good damage from Poi. That nade might clear. It doesn't. At least for the moment. Going to be able to eliminate Simple. Sausanito down. It's onto the one. And the swing with the USP. The confidence on this man. Alliance are manhandling BC.Game. These strung out fights towards Long Island. They're just not getting the push that they need.
I wonder if it's in the territory where some of these BC.Game players feel like they need to be the hero. It was Andy, wasn't it, that pushed through the corner smoke, tried to just get into an advanced position, take fights. It's kind of what I was criticizing before the round started. It's like, where's the innovation or where's the calling to put the team in a good position? I understand it's Dust2. You're going to take your long spawns, but it's just been too many basic rounds so far. And in straight up brawls, straight up duels, sure, Simple's doing well, but on some, Alliance are winning.
Most decidedly. All right, the 7-1 stacked up on the board tells the tale easily enough. And once again, we got a limited round. We've got Tech 9s out. We've got AKs. Yeah, these smoke pushes are quintessential undo. Ooh, look at this, Poi. Straight up middle. Sausanito here. Damage done. You don't want to give them an opportunity with the guns. And now as the lower play comes through, that off is pretty exposed. Ira's going to get run down, but still managed to get the gun up in time. How's he done this? How on earth does he get away with 4? What was that, Ira?
It's not the first play like that in this map. There's been a lot of situations where a single Alliance player is being collapsed upon. And they just get 1, 2, maybe 3 more kills than you'd ever bargain for. 8-1. This is BC.Game's pick. You wouldn't know it from the Counter-Strike we've seen so far. One round to their name.
Well, it feels like they're getting the opportunities, right? Like, that's the setup that they wanted. They wanted the 2 players strung out over middle, then the lower players come in for the punish. But they can't get the kills. They're losing fights to a USP. Yes, you only have Tech 9s, but come on. This is what you wanted.
Feels like a collapse on all levels to me. Yes, they've had their moments, but I'm not convinced they've given themselves as many opportunities as they should have. What is happening? Where was that smoke meant to go? On Xbox, perhaps? Certainly
Perhaps. Works decently if you think they're pushed up middle, but they're not. Instead, it's a swing back into long, catching Sausanito with the util in hand. So you've established the advantage. You got a decent chunky of information off of that. They're not heavy on the long presence this time, so you could start to see those 2 players float to support mid and B. They're not really committed to it just yet. But as I say that, a flashbang goes over, and Poi can go in to reinforce the B site. 45 seconds on the clock. Time starting to become an issue again. And here in middle, that was the bomb as well. So a lot of information. And Nexa eating nades as a result of it. Gonna try and go catwalk, but here comes that long flank. Perfectly timed for Twist. He can get the kill and fade back away to support his teammates from long. Though for now, he'll stick around and trust in Avid's gun to make sure there's no bomb plant coming through. There's nothing in this one for BC.Game. Whereas before, Simple was having some magic moments to keep rounds close that they frankly shouldn't have been. He hasn't had that in a while, so now these just aren't even close, Alan.
That would be a good time to bring up Simple's tweet again.
Yeah.
Getting it absolutely handed to them.
Hey, you know, he did ask to be humbled. He asked for it.
Getting absolutely blasted. They have no way into these rounds.
To come from Alliance. Somehow in that spray battle, nobody gets tagged.
They got one smoke. This hit off Cat right now has to work.
Got the timing. They've got the kills. They're starting to stack up. Advantage available, but Poli trying to bring this back into the realms of possibility. Nice sustained Galil spray there from Salsanito. Means that this one should be over and done. There's money to spare, so Up It wants to give it a look. And you know Simple's itching for blood right now. Thinks better of it. Bomb down and taking away. This should be a locked on round, but what is that? A lineup. Salsanito tries to peek out and around. He gets punished for it. They're giving him the chance! Oh my goodness. That never should have been within the realm of possibility.
How many times have we said that this half? More than once.
And Simple also didn't get an upgrade. There was a chance to get an up. Certainly at least a rifle. Up above the Galil. Don't quite know why not. But they're going to have AKs across the board regardless.
Still, best case scenario here is free. And look at Era. He is playing with utter confidence. You wouldn't believe it's Simple on the other side as far as the Orping battle is concerned. Poi takes space. Playing a risky brand of Counter-Strike. And this time it doesn't work. Man advantage. Finally, BC Game on a default.
Fortunate this time that Era didn't stick around, right? Because last time he went up with his teammate. Exit is low. For the moment, it seems like BC Game want to slow this way down. That was ambitious. Rightly punished by Simple, but a flash through the smoke. This is going to work out. Avid, that's beautiful timing off the flashbang. Clears out Catwalk. Completely upsets the apple cart of what BC Game were trying to set up. And now it's really about this long presence. Awkward fight for Twist. Gives the advantage back over to BC Game. 45 seconds. Do they realize that Avid's made his way out towards site? Sausanito certainly doesn't. That bomb's trying to cross, but Simple's thinking about walking the smoke. He's alone now. Simple in the 1v2, finds the first, snaps over, tracks through the smoke, but runs out of bullets onto the Glock, just trying to get away, and he slips past the corner in towards CT. There's no time to spare, though. Up and over the box. It's all about the parkour in this moment. Flashbang to cross, takes the fight. They're still surviving. Now it's a duel. It's a battle, and through the box, Simple will find it. A third round at least. Live back into the action here for the second half, Pistol, and things are underway. We're not wasting any time here. 3 sets of dualies. It's not quaddies. It's 60s?
So with Hex, would it not?
Hexties?
Or would it be...
I think he's on M80. Either way, it's action right off the rip off Catwalk. Simple wanted to waste no time, and so he won't. He will be spending a lot of time staring at his teammates' screens. He's dead. He's done. Nice flash onto so blind, cleared off. This is looking great for Alliance once more, and they've taken out the mid player as well, so it pretty much has to be the Sassanito play off of Catwalk if anything's going to happen, and it won't. Nexa blind firing through his smoke is the best that they've got. He's actually somehow caught one, but as the bomb slips into B, this should be over. Nexa. No heroics today. Poi instead to stack up the 3, and that was a commanding pistol from Alliance.
Yeah, as was their first half pistol. It's, when it rains, it pours. In this game for BC.Game, even when they've got numbers in the right positions, they're not playing individually at the level I would have expected. This map is now very close to over, and they've got some really tough decisions now about whether they start forcing, given how far this game has slipped. Are they going to eco here and try and get M4s out? No. So this is basically the map. And it was pick your poison. I'm not totally against this. I mean, 3-11. T-side Dust2 for Alliance. You're just going to win some rounds and get it over the line at that point, in all likelihood. So at least you give yourselves a chance, but playing out these rounds is hella difficult for a CT side on Dust2.
It's brutal. See if they can get anything. Twist gets clipped by the nade. But he gets the space he wanted. Out by the dumpster and sustained spam here just to make sure that nobody can cross in towards the pit. Try and coax them on a peek. It's not going to happen. BC.Game have withdrawn towards the site. A reminder for anyone joining us, you can see in the top left, this is BC.Game's pick. This is where they wanted to go in the veto. And it's looked pretty dire.
Yeah.
Yes, there's individual failures, but it's also just that the team as a whole feels like they're being read, outplayed, outmaneuvered in the vast majority of rounds.
The CT's making the good read here, though. 4 on A. They've actually got quite a lot of util. They could use these HEs to break the cross smoke. There's one player through so far for this T side, creeping up close. That is Avid, who's having a phenomenal game so far. Not a big factor, though, in this round. And now it's starting to look ugly. Are these terrace players feeling like crossing? This is not easy to get this bomb down.
They've got the kills. They're stacking up the numbers. That's unfortunate. Give Simple a chance, though. Gives us a chance to see the heroics. He doesn't have the health for it. It's going to have to be blinding headshots or nothing. And given the situation, it seems like even Simple knows there are limitations to what one must attempt.
Yeah. They'll probably buy again if he can save this. So it's of value. Sees one player through the mid doors. But I think he's got to get pretty well into B or the bomb's going to take him. On its way out.
Still watching this. Now he's crossed. Now he's safe.
I mean, for a round where they went into 4 players A and there was good util for the CT side, I don't think this was a bad round for Alliance. It was always going to be chaotic. And they're in the territory where it doesn't really matter how you win rounds. They just need to get some on the board. They've survived the force buy. And that is a monstrous replay.
Yeah, this guy.
Beautiful.
And we're back in.
There we go. There's the
There we
replay.
go. Look at this. Always looks a little awkward when you run knife out into somebody.
It's now or
She's
never.
at least behind us now. You've got some nades. You've got some rifles as well. They might be FMI, but you know there's something. Look at the space they have left towards middle, though. Trying to go heavy in towards anticipating the fast plays on either side from Alliance meant that there was a moment Where the gut punch up the middle would have been absolutely devastating.
Falling back into a pretty default stance now. Don't have massive information as the CT side, as Sassanito actually peels off into CT spawn. So A bomb site, not massively defended. Simple is there, yes, but he'd love an AWP for this sort of setup. They'll be off short in no time.
The one kit is stuck out towards long, so if that gets dropped, it'll be tough to recover. What? All right. Okay. Game on. Full blinder shot, just knowing your spacing and taking a chance. Why not? Twist thinks, I don't want anything to do with this, actually. I would like to back away. And he's going to get caught with util, but no!
Check out B.
Sassanito can't punish.
Avid lurked out B in the middle of all of that and took the entire site. That's why they were backing off short. And this is a must-win situation, despite how dire it is for the CT side. Alliance are outplaying them so hard in terms of rotating and being on top of the map. It's actually ridiculous.
And now Simple's disconnected. To just make it from bad to worse, Simple is DC'd. So they've lost an extra gun that they might have had into this following round. That's quite unfortunate. It's just the challenges of online Counter-Strike always coming back in to rear their ugly heads.
This is the best CS I've seen an Alliance team play ever. That good.
It's been quite a lot of fun to watch. Just constantly seem to be outmaneuvering. Avid certainly had a monstrous game. Had some really big moments when it felt like maybe things were finally getting into control, but it's been a lot of fun to watch across the board.
It is so eager to be proactive. They're willing to take small but justified risks in a way that I haven't seen from BC.Game. It's a nice kill from Simple, but yeah, certainly as a team, not looking harmonious. Clearly, Dust2's been a decent map for BC.Game of late. It's nothing to do with the map. It's just not good enough Counter-Strike right now. Individually, outside of Simple, they're not in the map. Nexus struggle to have a grasp on where BC.Game are coming from and having the numbers in the right place. On kind of all counts, Alliance is looking like the better team by a long shot.
And we will wait for Simple to return. Hopefully he does so. Hopefully this was a hardware issue, because certainly this is the kind of game that would make one want to disconnect from the server a little early. Let's just say Simple doesn't not have a history of
that was a long time ago.
Passionate moments. You know, returning to the gauntlet of online Counter-Strike will drive even the most sane people a little mad.
Certainly would. Though I'd say that the main factor is just the sheer playtime. It's the sheer number of officials. So that will be a culture shock. Obviously, Simple has played for so long in, you know, what would it be? Let's say 15 tournaments a year. You fly out per tournament. Kind of regimented. This is obviously a very different kind of world, really. Online games, different events all the time. Plenty of different teams. It's got to be quite a culture shock.
Yeah, Alliance is a nice demonstrator of it. I was just doing some quick math on their maps played. I believe they've got 105 maps of Counter-Strike in the last 3 months. So
not bad.
That's at least a map a day over that stretch of time.
I've seen higher.
Break it down.
I've seen higher.
Yeah, I mean, if you break that into BO3s and you assume 3 maps for each one, obviously not the case. But that's barely a map or a BO3 every 3 days. Very calm. But it is substantially more than BC.Game's been playing.
Yeah. Which is also kind of feels like what they should do. I mean, don't go completely overboard, but, you know, let's say averaging 3 or 4 best of 3s a week, maybe 5. It's doable, certainly. That's way under what a lot of the what we'll call the tier 2 stalwarts would play. The Monty back in the days would. Monty, I seem to recall Monty at some point had maps that had like 50 games played or something ridiculous. Yeah. Single maps.
I mean, we can take a look at the current team, see what they're rocking in the last 3.
More than BC.
Oh, not quite as many actually. They're back to very calm numbers. But yes, I agree with you. That Monty lineup back in the day with Waro and Demka was notorious for playing absolutely everything that they could get their hands on and just playing, more than one event a day.
Oh yeah,
in the era of online Counter-Strike.
Number of clashes was ridiculous.
Yeah, there's nothing like having
tournaments.
Well, the best was when you were running 2 cups from the same TO and you're canceling one because you have to play the other. Let's not do that. Let's not go back to that.
I think it still happens.
It definitely does.
Not quite. The peak was when CCT had 4 regions in Europe, but there wasn't any region locking. So everyone is playing everything.
Funny times. What's not so funny, if you're a BC.Game fan, is that this could be done.
Yeah.
Right here, right now.
Gotta win this long fight.
Prime taps. Cleared out, absolutely erased on the peak from Twist, and now Simple's got to back up. It's all on the Simple Scout. Support coming in the form of Nexa, but Simple will find nothing. Nexa next up to take a crack at this. And there's just no chance to even pull the trigger. What a shot. Merciless coming through from Alliance. There is nothing doing here. Undo, you don't have a miracle in you. 13-3, domination all the way through from Alliance. Looking by far the stronger team here on Dust2, which again, reminder, was BC.Game's map pick, Alan.
Yeah, it's hard to take any positives really from that first map. Simple had some good moments, but as a team, Alliance were fabulous. Avid was so good throughout that half. Twist was brilliant from an individual and a leadership perspective. It's hard to picture a world where that could have gone any better.
Individual performance can really buoy you through a bunch of rounds. Inferno's not really that map. Inferno is so much about the team play. It's so much about the rotations. It's so much about the utility being on point that if a team's really not clicking in that element, it's quite difficult for the individuals to bail them out of it. So there's a lot of things that have to have us pretty discouraged for BC.Game in this one, Alan, which probably means they're going to crush now. Simple going to find a headshot early on. That makes things a lot easier. A little peek out of the bedroom to collect, as Alliance are really looking to pick up the pace in this pistol, and this time they're fighting nothing for it. They need the headshots. We saw strong pistol rounds come through on Dust2, and this time the chase into library cost them. That's the bomb dropped as well, and that's the opportunity at this round. Gone, done, and dusted.
That's more like it. Aggression from Simple in towards apartments, of course, opens it up, but everybody holding firm. They gave ground towards long, but didn't get overly angsty to push various areas. Let Alliance move into them. And BC.Game will be happy just to get their foot in the door early on this map, because that clearly wasn't the case. On Dust2, it's going to be a 4-spy for Alliance. Tech 9 armor, lots of util, so they can still play out a pretty default sort of round. They opt to smoke top mid. They could go through this. And now they've seen quite a lot of util towards B. That might be the call in the near future.
Simple. Target-rich environment only does find the one. There's a second player to swing on the corner, though, and Sasanito's unexpected. Now they've got the pinch. 2 players coming back in just to try and contain Avid, but as he continues to make noise, this is going to create a gap on B. As that smoke fades, that's where the bomb actually wants to go. So Nexa needs to hold up here, because for the moment, at least, Andu is not around to support his captain, to support his IGL. There's no Molotov to clear out this new box.
I'm honestly surprised there's anybody B for Alliance because they've lost so many players A, and they saw the one player that went into the library not move towards B. Still, Nexa made the right call to stick around. And they are a little bit late in clearing him out. Era got to find this kill immediately for a chance, and he cannot. So, honestly, huge credit Nexa. A lot of players would have been CT spawn rather than on B.
It's certainly nicely done. You also feel like maybe Alliance missed a trick there, playing a little bit slower. You almost wonder whether the success towards A made them pause and think about whether they should head back that way. Either way, missed opportunity certainly. Good damage, considering what they were bringing in, but since they're going to be on a basically an eco, a little bit of deagle action mixed in there, you're not expecting much out of this follow-up round. Simple's going to have a chance at some backstabs here, and you know he's going to take it. Eventually finding some success, but low on HP, falls right back into the deagle of Uppa.
He's been a little bit careful with his jewels. This sort of round can quickly get out of hand if you start leaving rifles on the ground. So, a bit more of a passive approach. BC.Game has banana, so they're pretty happy right now to just play free towards A. Late in that area of numbers, they can push out into mid if Andu gets a little bit overwhelmed. And Andu has a smoke, so he can buy plenty of time if he needs to. And he will need to soon. He's got to get the smoke down before he gets overwhelmed.
Nice find through the smoke. Twist just sending us some prayers. I mean, 35 seconds. I certainly don't want anyone to survive through this round. So time to get a move on. Shake of a tail feather. 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Spacing, not ideal. But it's great for Sassanito. That's a nice way to pad the stats. So surely this calms you down a lot here, Alan. You come off of a really disappointing Dust2, really, shall we say, frustrating. And you come back in, you get a nice clean 3-0 off the back of that pistol win. Calms down the comms, makes everyone feel a little better about themselves. Now the question is, can they put that into effect against the rifles?
Here's the question. Prime taps. Taking a lot of damage here. Early on, as is Sassanito, so I guess he said the early util exchange is favoured the T side. Need to be careful to navigate Simple here out towards the boiler side of brackets. He's going to fall back now. So BC.Game needs to get on with claiming some control. Avid smokes alongside of brackets. A molly for this corner would be advised. And now it comes in. So Simple not granted any easy opportunities. Kind of mid and late round he'll get his chances. Well, for a second they might test that smoke on the reload, but no. Wait a little bit longer. Now the smoke stream over. Rap smoke is down, as is... They throw some weird smokes, Mike. They throw an extra smoke towards library. Maybe one missed. This is going to get really awkward if they want to wrap A because there's a smoke blocking their own path of progression.
Not ideal, but now they do have this control, and it's actually, okay, so here's the intention behind it. It's to hide this. They've worked the player in the library. This is kind of a rinse repeat of what they did on the force buy in a lot of ways, and it's worked. Again, they've pulled, this time, Nexa over towards this fight, and as he dies, it's so uncomfortable for Andu. He's got to be stuck here, and head ripped from shoulders, this round's over. Bombs going down. So it's the information denial that they seem to be doing with these smokes over on towards A to show heavier presence on the arch trap. It's interesting, right? Because so often what teams prioritize if they take that space is to actually get in for the B pinch. And for Alliance right now, it's like a modified B pinch, where you don't actually need the players on the A side to pinch through. You need them to pull presence away from B and create that doubt for BC.Game. And this time it works to perfection.
My hunch would be that a library smoke missed. I could be wrong. Could have been fully intentional. If it was intentional, as you said, it's only granted them a lot of space, quite safe. It was quite safe to take long. Normally, you'd be somebody moto would flash back and try and fight you, but because of the smoke, they couldn't. So I guess give them the benefit of the doubt, say it was a nifty little move. Either way, once the smokes were down, they played off it very well. They made good calls. And clearly BC.Game weren't really ready for that. So Alliance take strike number 1 as far as gun rounds are concerned. But with the saves and the money in the bank, certainly going to be another good investment for BC.Game. And they are sending Simple towards B this time.
Gets the spot, gets the shot as well. Poi jumping for a little bit of information. Nades traded. I was going to say a little bit of damage brought back the other way, but the follow-up gets it done. Still, they can't eliminate Simple, who is the true prize that you'd like to find. But they can keep BC.Game from getting too comfortable. And since they seem committed to this banana presence, we might see another test of Simple's prowess.
Yeah, they're calling the 4th player back, so this surely will be a B hit very, very soon. And they need some decent utils to navigate Simple. This molly is so annoying, isn't it? Wow, the timing, that's brutal. They just got to wait.
Not long, fortunately. And Simple has to back away back towards New Blocks. These flames are making his life very uncomfortable indeed. He's forced into the smoke. Nexa down for 1. They know Simple's here. And just process of elimination, they find him. Well done. Good awareness to make sure that Simple didn't slip into position to do anything interesting. This has to be a safe call. This has to be a plug pull, especially as that smoke goes down. It's prayers being sent out by Sausalito that he gets a kill that invites them back into this retake, but the reality is they are locked on the wrong side of these choke points, and they need to hold on to their guns.
It's a tough gig playing on B with an AWP like that. So hard to get a good fight before there's players in pool, there's players getting around you. They did their best. I'm wondering if their better option would have been to smoke the banana choke point itself rather than saving it for the site. Hindsight's 2020. But the molly really did do so much to just put the brakes on. It should have bought the CTs more time. But as you kind of said, it didn't really make a lot of difference, did it? They just added 5 seconds to the hit.
Yeah. I mean, they're fortunate that it wasn't. Maybe if it was half a second later, but those CT mollies, man, they just burn out so quick. They really do. But it did feel like it was perfectly timed for the disrupt. Oh, tough break. Tough break, certainly, for BC.Game. I think they did a lot of things right in the defense there, but...
Maybe the missing piece is that the rotator from A was slow, because we're so focused on B. I can't actually recall what the third A player would have been doing, but... If a third player gets over and can flash, particularly for the rifle or back sight, that could look very different. So I wonder if, you know, they had numbers too far towards pit or something, because that would have been a very different take with that extra hand to lend over.
Andu wants to get frisky here. This is what Andu loves, and that nade pop catches him with his pants down, looking very silly indeed. Nexa slipped out to sandbags. They might not expect this, but if they're diligent in their clears... This should be at most 1. Oh, they're overlooking it. They're overlooking it. Oh my goodness, Nexa. Patience could be rewarded, but he stacks them all up! Oh my goodness! The swing to perfection, their heads on a line, and just runs them all through. Nexa, the hero of the round, and Uppo wondering what the hell has gone so very wrong.
Incredible. It was all Alliance as far as those moments were concerned on map 1. BC.Game here. They have no money in reserve.
Hold on. Don't let him do this.
There's so much util to navigate. This really should not be easy.
15 seconds, there's no one on B. If he just goes through with the plant, he's disposing of guns. There was definitely an opportunity here.
He could die after time.
You could do. They have the money to deal with it. And actually getting that kill is worth the risk. I think getting that kill is genuinely worth the risk because of the money that they have to spare.
Give us the next moment again. That's all that matters.
And that's why you molly sandbags. And that's why you molly sandbags every damn time.
I wonder if they put nades on it earlier and then just sort of neglected or something of the sorts. That is brutal. Wow. Round wins for Alliance before the last, so their money's in a fairly healthy spot for a team that's just lost a round. And we're back. Era's in. And let's see what they have for us next.
I suspect they'll, at the very least, be putting a Molotov on sandbags.
Sassanito, is he about to get aggressive? He's got no nades.
Had the money to spare, too. Well, he's not initially. I'll tell you that much.
I'm missing something. Did he drop a full belt in spawn?
Seems a bit odd, that's for sure. Nexa tagged up very much so. This nade trying to chase. Won't find him. Won't find Undo either, but Prime Tap's tagged down elsewhere. And a fight in. Everyone wary to give up that initial kill. We've seen some serious tag damage. But it's Apartment's control right now for Alliance. And some good presence on Banana that BC.Game have had to back off of.
Yeah, we saw a very passive CT side of Dust2, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's a similar mantra coming out from BC.Game here on Inferno.
Sassanito's on an island. No one can help him.
Yeah, he could get, especially if plays wide swing, it's not an easy fight for him. I don't rate his chances, to be honest. Oh, shoulder spotted. Lucky, I think, to be alive. Era, though, on the fullback, finds the frag. So 4 on 4. Bomb still now just being recovered. And this T-side needs to make a decision real soon, or time will become a problem.
Fortunate timing on that CT smoke in the apartments. Oh, they're coming out. They're coming out. Simple. Right up on the truck. Spots the first. Pops ahead. Crosshair in the right place, but Up is able to trade it up. Lost awareness of the apartments. And it falls to Prime Taps. He's tucked in the corner. No teammate is close. He has no help. It's all got to be Prime Taps here. And in a 1v2, he's done damage. 1 and damage is not bad. Sets up his team with the possibility of the retake, but they're so slow on this rotate that bomb goes down. And Nexa is barely a wisp of a man at this point. 4 health. A pebble that he trips on could end it all. Or an AK-47 bullet that's slightly larger than a pebble. Onto, what do you have for us? 1v2, swinging out towards the site, battles them both, takes neither.
I'm still not confident about BC.Game at all. Without that Nexa round, this half could actually be in a really scary position for them. And it's not in a great one now. Prime Taps has dealt with a tough card there, backside. Couldn't get too much done. And what are they going to do? They're going to full force by. They could eco 1 and have 2 players on FAMASs. At the moment, they're kind of half in, half out. As they take this pause. If you're going to buy here, have a plan. Stack somewhere. Fight for mid. Whatever. We take Banana mid-round with HEs. Do something a little bit unorthodox, and preferably with numbers on one side of the map, so you can just save if you get it wrong.
See if they're going to give what you want. Right now, it looks pretty vanilla with the 3 towards B. Nexa setting up flashbangs to get his teammates over for a fight in the choke point, maybe. Simple rotates off. This looks like a pretty bog standard round, except that we've got aggression in the apartments. Clearly, Alliance are expecting something. I mean, they've held off of the initial banana aggression. Now they go for the retake. Again, this looks pretty normal. Andu, why? I mean, sectioned out by utility, certainly, but that looks a bit silly. And now they've lost a player in apartments. So you didn't get what you wanted, Alan, and it doesn't seem like it's working out for BC.Game.
I haven't all series.
No.
To be honest. Tassanito goes looking and finds lead. When it goes south for BC.Game, it goes south pretty fast.
Yeah.
They're getting absolutely minced up at the moment. Just need to navigate simple. It'll be okay. They're going to let this B-prong probe and prod first. Poi can call out soon that he has the sight. Or not. Or
does he?
Well, that's enough information. You know it's 1A maximum. And now you know where simple is. So, it's A-okay. All good in the hood.
At least the chance for an accident, maybe save a rifle. Twist is going to go try and deny it to him. But you also know he has a glue, and there is some risk of giving him the AK upgrade, so... What antsy are you going to be? Well, if he walks around the corner into your crosshair, that would work. But just on the other side of this. The tension in the air right now. Come on, go for that car peek. Twist is just waiting. Go for that car peek. You know you want one more kill. One more kill, Nexa. One kill. That's an extra smoke grenade right there. And there's that one kill. Patience from Nexa rewarded. He doesn't flinch first.
Bit of money for everyone with the frags. Well, that gun is all they're going to have in this round. Maybe Nexa can drop a pistol. Top of that. But Alliance starting to get into their stride. They did lose pistol here, so it always meant it was going to be difficult to repeat the sort of scoreline they had in the first half of Dust 2. But making a good go of it. Certainly a clean round here would be very nice. They have lost quite a lot of guns up against pistols so far. That is a nice start. Andu dispatched. And they just need to get onto a site without falling foul of Nexa, really.
Hearing the tick of the Molotov, know that you've just interrupted some sort of setup. Over towards lane here. Prime tasked with a USP. Not going to be able to hold much apart from this. Sassanito is going to link up with Nexa on B. They're going to play 2-2. This does feel like, unless there's some sort of insane deagle play coming through from Simple, there's very little that BC.Game can do about this. Here comes the A exec. Smokes are being thrown. To being diligent about this, not leaving any extra opportunities over towards the CTs. And now players spotted in mini pit. They've got the awareness. They've got the tags. Seems like it's just a matter of time, and that time comes to pass. Wrap on the site. USP gets a kill, but the trade is instant, and you catch the first player coming back through the smokes. So Nexa, once again, is just going to have to think about how he's going to save this rifle. Taking a more aggressive stance on this. He stuck around a lot longer than I would have anticipated. Doesn't have a kit, so the cheeky sneak in defuse probably not going to happen, but look at how aggressively they're hunting. There was a window here.
If only I had a kit. Not to be. Doesn't get any catches. Nexa saves again. Simple priced himself out of having a good investment. I think he might have. 3.9. Nexa needed to save because that's a rifle for simple.
It'll be a rifle armor, and you do get that little bonus off of the kills they got. So 4K, you can make it work. And actually, someone's dropped one over for
Yeah,
him.
Nexa donated. And Nexa keeps the Galil. He knows what's up. Simple gets the M4.
Hey, right now, the only one having one of those pop-off moments is Nexa.
Yeah, it's true.
Respect IGL.
Well, let's see. The last few defaults have been good for Alliance. They're getting space. As they go into Nexa, they've done pretty well. This time, Sassanito ups the aggression. Boy dispatched. Perfect start for the CD side, especially if Sassanito can get out in one piece. He does. Prime taps. Almost caught. But not to be. And now it's really dire for Alliance. They do not have many options left.
I love the idea behind the mid move out, right? If Avid had caught that kill, suddenly things were very much back on because the apartments player could have activated as the site players got nervous. But well held from prime taps. Means that you're absolutely right. There's very little doing here. Big piece of it now is avoiding damage. Sassanito does a great job of that. 5 health, but 2 kills. He's done his job. Now it's up to the teammates. They're bringing a second player in, and even Sassanito. In an ideal world, he probably just sets up flashes for his teammates, but might have to get active here. This Alliance are making their move. The creep out. Sassanito watching. He's spotting it. Good damage. Great damage. 1 HP for Twist. 20 seconds on the clock, and they still don't know about the new box player. Surely with these distractions, they've overlooked Nexa. He'll find the first. Not the second, though. And suddenly there's a chance at a bomb plant, but a chance that Sassanito will deny.
Good round from him. Of course, the openers feel like the kind of critical moments. It was just so difficult. Change of pace here on Banana works out. And as you said, the reaction in mid was fine. Had to make a move for your Alliance, but it didn't work out. And that was basically the round shut and dry 20 seconds in. They'll be hoping for more success this time early on. I dare say that they might change their approach to Banana, to being aggressed upon so much so in the previous. They're going to go for the halfway smoke themselves. And actually, they're grouping up numbers mid early. Perhaps they want to go for a take. Upper here is a lucky boy to be alive, and Simple utterly committed, believing it has to be a second defaulter. But these guys getting shredded in mid in the meanwhile. Absolute roller coaster around. And that bomb is nowhere near the A-bomb site.
Not at all. A weird situation now where you do have the player in pit, and that's completely pulled off Nexa, right? Because he's anticipating why would there be a player all the way committed, and Twist is taking this opportunity. Now, this should be a kill on a silver platter. And now, based on that walk-through smoke, you might have a pretty good idea that you've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. Twist is going to plant it very open. He knows he has the window here. That's veteran experience coming through, knowing your timings. What are you going to have on an exit going loud on a Twist into the corner? Does he get cleared? He does. But quicker on the trigger. And now a 1v1 dancing around the corner. And Twist pays it off.
This is never in doubt, was it? Never in doubt for Twist. This first engagement is ugly. And frankly, after that moment, the only reason it goes close is because they're stacking our BC.Game. That's why Alliance kind of run into the blender. They're just not expecting there to be more than one player holding mid. So I don't blame them at all. I think it was a decent call. And now they're up to 6. They got the round over the line anyway. Pause comes in. It's actually a pause for Alliance. Despite winning the round. Perhaps. I don't know, but excited after the clutch, I guess.
Sometimes you got to clear those comms. Got to give time, you know, for your wily vet. Get his proper kudos from Twist.
I would never have betted on Alliance having more individual star moments in this series. Never.
Yeah, I mean, apart from very early on Dust2, we've had that Nexa play.
Yeah.
Sausalito's had some moments here. Sausalito's had some moments. Give him his flowers, but you're absolutely right. Simple. That's a miss. Gets it on the second face, though. They're trying to overwhelm. They're trying to go fast with this, and it's working beautifully. That's a loss. That's the bump down. That's a plant, and that's BC.Game in a miserable position for this retake. They're certainly going to attempt it. It is the last round of half.
This is impossible.
Control down middle.
Era's got all of mid, so they know it has to be Moto, and they've got so much util. This is a nightmare.
Here's the check. Here's the clear. Undo's devoted on it. That's good awareness, but now they know that players are wrapping up the lane. Incendiaries to make this player uncomfortable. Uppa has to swing, but they're not watching it. You have to watch it. And with that lapse in attention, might have just lost their last opportunity at this one. It's over by the clock. It's over by the kills. It's Alliance in the lead.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
We're back into the fun here. It's been a lot of fun for Alliance, not so much for BC.Game. Some moments, some bits, some bobs, and certainly they've still got a prime opportunity to make good here on this Inferno. But once again, those final couple of rounds starting to make us think that Alliance have a strong argument for the 2-0.
There's no doubt that Alliance have been the better team in this series. it's been a tough day in the office for BC Game. They've rarely caught their opponents out of position. It feels like Alliance, the ones making all the nifty moves and forcing awkward rotations. Had so many great individual moments from them, and yeah. We came here for the simple show as well, and well, his track record right now is phenomenal, and that isn't quite been reflected yet in this series.
Yeah. Certainly not here on Inferno. We saw the spikes of it on Dust 2, but his chances to be that guy have been very few and far between. I mean, the scoreline tells the story in that 7 and 8. It's just pedestrian, which is not what we want from this absolute legend.
There's going to be 4B before they hit the site. Surely, look at the flank.
I've got the information now. Avid has.
Well, he needs to use. They need to use this smoke. They need to realize what's happening and buy some time.
Now he's seen it all. Now here comes the exec. Trying to fire out. Flashbangs have been good, though. Need some kills. Now they're getting stuffed up by the crossfire. And they got the initial push that they needed. They got the initial toehold into the site, but now it's all just on to Undo, and he's dancing through smokes, and he's dancing with death, and death will find him.
It's just way too many players to deal with. The flank doesn't actually make it there in time, but still, 4 defenders here on come the actual site hit. So well played by the B site players for Alliance. Avid, though, is the hero with the info play, and without a plan, it just makes it even harder for BC Game to find a route into this half. They'll have to eco this round. It's looking even better for Alliance. I seem to recall this game was something like 4-1 for BC Game at the start. 4-2. 4-2.
Yes. They had a very nice start. It's been a long time since then, Alan. Had the clean conversion of the pistol. We're thinking, okay, this is gonna, get rid of all the douse. This is gonna make them feel a whole lot more confident. Been a long time since then. After those pistol rounds as well, those 2 rounds that they did win to get to 5, completely isolated, right? So there was no chance to build the momentum. And
yeah, and one of them was that next round, which,
yes.
I mean, it's fantastic individual play, but you wouldn't describe it as a team masterclass.
No. It all paints a pretty dire picture for BC.
Yeah.
This matchup.
They won pistol, and they had the next round, and that makes up the bulk of what they've got out of Inferno so far. This round, nothing going.
It's just simple anti-ecos, but it's typifying what we've seen from Alliance, where it's just a simple ping-pong peek, right? You've got one player in the cubby, you've got one player around the corner, but you peek at perfectly the right time. You allow the moment where it's kind of like getting the fish on the hook. They've gone deep enough into mid, you've got the read of when to peek, and then you time it perfectly up with your teammate where they just don't even get a chance to shoot. It really is, everything is looking so nice for Alliance, and as much as we're maybe ragging on BC Game for some of these plays, I don't think you should take anything away from how brilliantly Alliance are playing right now. They look phenomenal.
Certainly compared to what we expected of this team, maybe before this series, but certainly before this tournament, they have been playing lights out Counter-Strike for an org and a side that hasn't had a good run of things for ever in Counter-Strike Go into CS2.
And that is just... Andrew tried that a bunch of times in the first half. That's how it's supposed to look. You time it up with the flashbangs, you get the momentum play, you get the swing for the clearance towards logs. Very nicely done. This is an interesting spot to be, right? Because now he's got the information. Can he activate off of it? And the answer is yes. Yes, indeed. Sasanito's low. One bullet will just about finish him. Somehow he's dodged that bullet, and Nexus found a kill elsewhere to bring this round back into doubt. But the Deagle goes in to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand, and they don't actually have a lot of information or positioning for it. They don't know about Uppa here on the balcony. Speaking of balconies, this is going to be the critical fight. He spots it. player's already out fast, so Simple's going to get a chance at the clutch. He's the last man alive. And he's getting this bomb planted, but he doesn't have the time to punch the numbers in before Era activates. So dynamic, making sure that that round never got into question and that double digits are secured for Alliance.
It's been a fabulous map for them. They're also not panicking. They're getting overzealous. They're not worried that they've lost the long side and just pushing everywhere. It's calm, composed, somewhat simple Counter-Strike, you could say, in the mid-round, but it works, man. They're on the same page. They're playing off the back of each other. It's very rare that you see Alliance taking individual fights in this series in the way the BC.Game have.
Well,
and just on cue.
Yeah, there's one for you. But once again, even when some gaps form, Era's able to pay it off. Is he really? Okay, that's a bit much to ask. Okay. You know, Alliance, making sure that we don't get too high on them, I guess.
He's also just given another rifle into Boiler, which is safe to recover, so... It's not ideal.
Babysitting that, waiting for his teammate to go grab it. There it is. Nexus got a gun now.
Alliance have no information. They're kind of gambling that they'll just pick up the guns and end A. And they kind of would be right at the moment.
That take the Molotov, though. Is there a reason to bail out? Well, you've still gotten what you wanted. You've gotten that kill. You've thinned the herd. There's still a good chance that Poi catches player with the back turned here. They keep missing each other on these peaks. But that's actually going to coax them further on into this. Simple clear it. Oh, they line up for Poi. And there was a chance. There was some moments. There was a window of opportunity for BC.Game in this round as Alliance maybe got a little bit cocky. But that window slammed shut.
The absolute conviction that it was never going to end B. They didn't know it. It looked like an executes round on an offline server where it had to be A. Oh, BC.Game. This is out of control and then some, isn't it? 5-11. Hard to see them getting rounds on the board, let alone closing up this scoreline. Andu takes so much space. He beats the mollies, braves the flames, leaves him on 22 HP, but the entry is hella valuable. Finally, something goes their way.
And if you look at who's been left here over towards B, right? Twist has exhausted his utility. I don't know if some's available to be picked up back by the church, but he's calling for Uppa to come over. Obviously, the extra crosshair is helpful, but even just for the util, it's so critical. What was that? Was that a nade pop? It must have been.
I think Avid burst it for him, from what I can tell. What a nice little move, and... wow. That has completely changed the complexion of this round. I was looking at it thinking, how can they get aggressive? How can they make a move when BC.Game is still in the midst of their default? Well, question answered. That is brutal.
This is such a read. You actually get the util out on towards A, and that actually pulls Uppa off. This is a misread for once. Because of the Molotov shown on the other side, they're bringing the second player over towards B, so there is an opportunity here. Numbers are thinned, and Era's pretty committed. Oh boy, is he going to peek off this smoke fade? Almost lands, but the little jiggle upsets it. Still, they get the kill on the other side. Now they got confidence. Avid's position isn't revealed, but you'd assume there's a player somewhere in the vicinity of Pit. And now Sausalito making the play through. Avid at least gets the one. The second? How has he done this? Simple again in a clutch. Avid has put him in a very tough spot and a nade to just take a little bit of health away. Would have made it a one-shot headshot off the A1S, but it's a case, so not a question. Lines them up, and wow. Twist trades him out. Map, series point, locked in, and it's at the hands of Twist.
Just nothing going for BC.Game whatsoever. A round where they get the opener. A round where they actually commit into the significantly weaker side. Avid's second kill here should frankly never happen. Casanito, he's beyond a good enough player to trade that one out. I can't believe it. This game is... If you're just looking at gun rounds, BC.Game are just not in it remotely. They must have won, what, 2 during the series? 3? It's not a match. It's a smackdown.
It absolutely is. And at this point, Sausalito is getting smacked before he even gets to see a player. 4 health. Andu not feeling a whole lot better. They have taken brutal damage off of the banana util. That's massive. Had to have something here. Nate trades it out, and Ira does the work. So confident he peeks back in from around the arch corner. So now we take a pause. The map hangs in the balance. BC.Game's fate hangs in the balance here.
Feels like you favor the Alliance, though, every time in these situations because they're so much more eager to get information. They're so eager. You can see Ira peeks long. Doesn't see much. Upper can push apartments soon. At least on this time of asking, they don't really know it's B. Poi takes first contact. Util comes out now from Twist. Does he hold the T's at bay? It's very awkward. They've used so many of their nades as the T side, and they're going to have to go. But in the meanwhile, the rotations are coming over. Poi dinks another player for good measure. 19 HP is all that remains between BC.Game and a 2-0 loss.
There's no reason to rush this either. Upper can come into support. Ira knows, is trying to get lucky. Has to know how much damage is done onto some of these players, right? Sausalito, it should be unconfirmed damage because it was util. But they likely know they've tagged up Simple, and I mean, either of these players are a wisp away from death. Flashbang around the corner. They do have the kit. But the altitude for Simple allows him to offset the angle. Now that kit can be retrieved, but Ira is trying to identify the last, is trying to spot him up. Can't quite find it. That's going to be the round. At least for the moment, BC.Game are going to stay surviving. Ira trying to slip away, but it's Sausalito on the retreat. Neither one will make it out of that bomb radius. But BC.Game will make it out of the round.
Yeah, but needless to say, by pretty much the thinnest of margin. 1 stray P250 bullet, 1 extra bullet hit on the B defense itself. Heck, if they even had a HE or a molly for the retake, that is a whole position dealt with and a much easier time for the player coming out of ruins to clear the site. Okay. It's going to be a pause from Alliance because their money's a little bit on the edge. They are going to invest. It's a fine decision. You could equally probably have ecoed here, given the score line, but they want to get this done. They have got a good amount of util, so they certainly have options. 6 to go.
Almost looked like it was on, didn't it? Not quite. Nades down middle. I mean, it's tickle damage here.
Huge read.
Towards mid.
Huge read.
This time, there's no presence arch either, so this is good. But what? What?
How did he know?
What was that? What on earth? What kind of a read was that? They had banana control, I guess, but that's one hell of a Hail Mary. And it finds the end zone. Ira now prepared, ready, reading. It's up to Andu and Simple. Heroes required and Avid fast closing on the flank. Simple gone. It's all Andu.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chess versus checkers, isn't it, this series? Every time BC.Game look to make a good move, they've been one-upped. Andu is going towards the lesser defended site. Perhaps he's a world and get the bomb down, but he's just convinced that there's got to be another player nearby. Ollie. Dispatch. And he goes looking into 3 players. This should be it. Where's the peak? A little bit late. 5 HP to go. 13-6 to add on to a 13-3. You never would have bet on that before the series.
No, not at all. I mean, this final round's got to be such a stinging one for BC Game because, I mean, with the spam through the smoke, that's unreasonable.